Hello, I'm John Higgins and welcome to my channel. Today I'd like to share a brief snapshot of practicing a descant for a beautiful Christmas carol, and I've chosen While Shepherds Watch Their Flocks by Night, which is one of my favourites and I think is very well suited to a lovely descant. And I have here the original arrangement of the tune Winchester Old with a descant, which I think is absolutely beautiful. So first I'll play the harmony as written so you can hear that, and then discuss some options. We'll pick the lovely principals 8 and 4 on the great, and we'll talk about the solo voice in a minute. I think you'll agree it's a very lovely tune. So the ideas that I'm incorporating today are things that I've learnt from Dr. Vitus Pinkauskas, and I'd highly recommend anyone interested in learning the organ, improvisation and harmony to check out his YouTube channel Secrets of Organ Playing. And so one of the options to free up the right hand in order to be able to play a descant is to then combine the harmony in the left hand. So we have soprano, alto and tenor in the left hand in closed chord formation, and the pedals continue taking the bass as written. So let's just try that now with the left hand incorporating those notes in closed chord position. Now for someone like me, this definitely takes quite a lot of work to get your head around that with very modest skills. So the encouraging thing about that is I believe that anyone out there with interest and determination could learn to do that. That was probably a bit too fast, much too fast to be practicing at, and I have tried it earlier, so let's slow it down and try and smooth it out a little as well. And certainly for the first time trying that, go even slower and potentially drop out the pedals so you can just concentrate on the left hand. keep practicing that slowly until you feel comfortable, as slow as possible. And I think two of the most important things that Vitus has taught me is practice is a privilege. It's a real privilege to even sit down and play an instrument and this beautiful music, and never take that for granted. Never be careless with the opportunity. And the second thing is slow practice makes fast progress, and even I continually try and remind myself of that, because it's easy to get into bad habits. So now let's hear the beautiful descant line. So one option is the swelled trumpet, and I'll put the swell 8-foot principle behind it as well to give it a little bit more body. And that sounds like this. Another possibility is we have a lovely trumpet enchimade on this organ, which sounds like this. So potentially, if I was using that as the solo line, it might need the great 2-foot or a quieter mixture added potentially as well, depends on the balance. Let's utilise the swell trumpet for the moment to hear that lovely descant. Some other advice that's very helpful is to think about singing this tune, and think about where you would take breaths as a singer, and incorporate that in organ playing as well, because the small gaps for a breath and the space between the notes is just as important as the notes themselves. And that I've certainly found that when you incorporate that consideration of some breathing and spacing and phrasing, that it can certainly have an impact on the listeners, where they feel much more confident and comfortable to sing along. So now the next step is to combine the parts together. So let's try pedals and the descant first. Next is the right hand and left hand combination, so playing the harmony in the left hand and the descant in the right. Let's take that slowly and see how we go. And then finally combine all three parts together, and particularly taking care here to slow down to a very slow tempo. So that's the three parts together, and then it's a matter of working on the smoothness, confidence, and slowly picking up the tempo that would be appropriate for congregational singing. It's a very grand and majestic tune that I don't think necessarily needs to be rushed, although you certainly don't want it to become a drag either. So let's work on that now. So that's starting to get there, and we'll go one more try, and of course aiming for minimum 3 correct repetitions, and even more if you want to be aiming for the highest possible outcome. And that's another great saying that Vitus has, is that are we practicing until you haven't made a mistake, or are you practicing until you can't or won't make a mistake? And sometimes it's easy to go, oh well, got through that without a mistake, that'll do, but it's about practicing until it's embedded, so that you can be really confident under performance conditions, and that is a challenge. And you've certainly got to be knowing what you can do and be confident in your abilities. So that's getting pretty close to the mark, but I'd certainly want to be practicing more till it was more comfortable and a little bit faster. So that's one of the options for adding an extra dimension to carol and hymn playing. I hope you've enjoyed this short video. Please check out Dr. Vitus Pinkauskas' YouTube channel, Secrets of Organ Playing. And there's many fantastic videos on this process to a much more advanced level than what I've presented here, and my skills will allow. And you might even like to compose your own descant, so it's certainly a very enjoyable and creative process to think about how you might accompany such a beautiful hymn with a lovely descant. And of course there's other options as well, for example incorporating the tune in the tenor range in the left hand and playing the chords in the right hand. So that's something else to think about. And you would have heard a few days ago the carol God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen that I recorded, and this is lovely because it has the tune in the left hand tenor range, which is quite beautiful. So for the sake of illustration, let's listen to that one now, first as the harmony is written. So that's another illustration of how the tune can be presented in the left hand in the tenor range, and I think the trumpet on Chamade is a wonderful stop to present that melody line. So that one still needs a bit of practice, so I'll need to work on that one, but it's a great example of how we can be creative with the hymn tunes. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that this might inspire some ideas and creativity. Feel free to leave any comments or suggestions. This is very much a elementary beginning level that at the moment is the best that I can do with my skills, and each person can tailor it to what you feel comfortable doing, and I'm sure that if I can do it, all of you out there watching could give it a try too, and I'm sure it'd be very exciting to see what some of my other followers can come up with. I'm very excited to hear. Perhaps you might have a descant of your own, or some creative ways of presenting these beautiful Christmas tunes. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon in the next video. Take care. Bye.